の混沌とした令和のインターネットを照らす一筋の光、電子の海を漂うオタクに笑顔、未来の平和をお約束、動物だけど任せとけ、インターネットエンジェルただいま降臨。社会をやめろ、家族をやめろ、人間関係をやめろ、今すぐ薄暗い部屋で青白いライトを浴びろ。大丈夫、怖かったこと全部上書きするからね。現実よりもおかしくなりそうなほど情報型のインターネットを今助けてあげるよダーリンダーリン。嘘は外と見抜けるし、この絵暴走しちゃうし、壊れてしまうけど考えなくていいんだよ、もうすぐ楽になるから。脳内に乱反射するポイズンレニュー、麻薬より甘いよ。いいね、良くないね、君にとっては毒だね。いいね、良くないね、それでも飲むんだね。いいね、良くないね、二人の秘密だね。私だけ見ててね。まるで天使のように微笑む強めの計画、インターネット、そして悪魔みたいにささやくあなただけの出番に入りが。浅い耳抜け承認欲求のオーバードーズ、脳電直撃する私たちだけの宗教と光、人より激しく生きた宇宙すら侵食する恋、何度も送られる毒電波を優しさだけで包んで、逆さまのコンピューターと断片的なカウンセリング、きらめく屋上で奏でた夢見心地の旋律、夕暮れ時にさよならの練習をして、壊して愛して許してぐるってぐるってぐるって甘く狂わせて繋ぎ始める世界、曖昧になる風景、あなただけが映っているメモリー、神様なんていないよ。このふざけたインターネットは七色のサイケデリック、 SNS という瓶詰め地獄に救済も。過去の歴史は未来フリー、あなたのためならすぐそばに、インターネットエンジェル可愛い誕生。まるで天使のように抱きつく強めの計画、インターネット、そして悪魔みたいにキスするあなただけの入りが。
Welcome. Hydrate. Okay, I will hydrate. Thank you. At least 2/3 of the way. The rest I'll just BS. I'm curious. Yeah. Congrats, Ardbert. I still don't know who you are, but congrats. Uh-oh. What the heck? I chat now.
Plugged in all the way. There it is.
That's better.
There we go.
Okay, everybody here. Aqua this time.
Bestia's voice actor from the drama CD is also the voice of Zack Fair. Oh my god, I love Zack Fair!
Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
Cool.
That's so weird though that Freyja could hear me over Discord but OBS couldn't pick me up.
Yeah, that's strange. Like, you're not... Your mic isn't muted in OBS either, right?
No. It was just not picking up anything and I decided to double check my actual mic and it, like, one of the wires was not plugged in all the way. Which is so weird. I guess it was
It
just
is
like out
weird.
enough for OBS to not like it.
Huh.
Oh, man.
Well.
Oh my goodness, alright. Anyways, I love Zach Fair. That's not cursed knowledge, that's blessed knowledge.
Just blessed.
But it is
Absolutely
funny because they
blessed.
are very different characters.
I really need to see or listen to the drama CD.
Ooh, yes. God. Oh my gosh, yeah, that means that Bestie is in Kingdom Hearts.
That's amazing.
That's really funny. Oh my god. He asks out a character named Aqua in Kingdom Hearts.
Really?
Yep. He asks her on a date.
Oh,
That's funny.
Aqua and Bestia. Who knew?
Wow.
Wow.
Guess that was my real husband all along and I didn't even know.
Surprise.
We also got another thirsty redeem, so let's take another sip of water. Ah, thank you. And I guess since I was accidentally muted, thank you so much, Riri, for the resub. With Prime, I appreciate it so much. Happy to have you here, and I appreciate that support so much.
Yeah. Thank you for all the hydrate redeems. all the
Yes,
time,
oh my
too.
gosh, yeah, you keep us hydrated so well. Oh my goodness. But yeah, tonight we'll be moving on in Fadamoru. We're gonna start the 4th chapter.
Dun dun
Dun,
dun.
dun, dun.
We did a little summary for everybody. And then if everybody has any questions that pop up, now's a good time to ask them, I think. Or, you know, as we keep going, if you got any questions, don't be scared to just bring them up. It's okay.
Listen, I gotta keep the hydrate economy under control. Literally, I was mostly just looking at other streamers' redeems, and I was like, oh, mine are so cheap in comparison to theirs. Maybe I should increase the cost of, like, the most popular ones a tiny bit?
Yeah. Yes, you can ask questions.
All questions are valid. Oh my god.
Free hydrate.
No! Corn!
You're out of here.
Can I...
You think he can fix him? Absolutely. That's what we said too.
There we go.
Corn! Take that, Corn. Take
I timed
that.
him out.
Good.
No, you can come back.
No, don't give in so easily.
I felt bad.
Aww.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Corn wants to be banned, so I guess we're gonna ban.
Should I ban Corn? Alright,
Yeah.
goodbye, Corn.
Goodbye,
Corn.
Goodbye, Corn.
Goodbye, Corn. Goodbye. God, he's gone.
He's out. He's gone.
To be fair, he asked for it. Like, I just did what he
Exactly.
asked.
Ask and you shall receive. Aqua is very generous.
Uh-huh, I do what the people want. Now, I let him back in because I know if I let it sit there, I'll forget to let him back in for real.
Yeah. Like the one time I timed you out and then I forgot to put you back in because I didn't know how to do it on.
Yeah. God, was that the
Oh,
time I got
God.
timed out for like 2 hours?
Yeah, not 2 hours.
That was
It
when the
like-
timer was for. It was set that you could type again in like 2 hours, and I was sitting there, I was like, and I was
That's
just
so
like,
funny.
oh my god.
Because whenever I went to, because I usually during streams I'll like watch it. Oh,
Dendik, thank you so much for the follow, Dendik.
Thank
I
you.
need to make sure I'm saying that properly. But thank you
Yeah.
so much.
thank you. Yes, when I go to my creator dashboard, it gives you the option to time out, but it doesn't let you pick how long it does. How long you can time somebody out for. So I was like, oh, I don't know.
I was timed out for like 2 hours. Like, I think you eventually figured out how to bring me back before the 2 hours, but I was still sitting there for a while waiting.
It was so sad. I don't want to do that to anybody.
It was so funny. At least
At
you
least
did it
you
to
got-
me.
Yeah, exactly.
Better me than like an actual like
Uh-huh.
viewer. I say that as if I'm not an actual viewer on other people's streams.
You know, it's fine.
Oh my gosh. We were getting all kinds of sidetracked.
We are. I guess we should talk about. Okay. So Fata Morgana starts in a mansion. You wake up. You don't know who you are. You don't know your memories. And the maid shows up, and she's like, "Hey, do you remember who you are, Master?" And you're like, And she's like, "Okay, let's take you through all these different doors, and you'll try to remember who you are." So we go through a bunch of different doors to see the history of the other people that have lived in the mansion before you. And so chapter 1, I don't remember what year it starts in, 1503 or something like that.
I want to say it was like 14 something. I don't remember. Oh no, it might have been like 1509. I don't know, Shakespearean times, you know.
Yes.
You know.
You know, back then. So we meet Mel and Nellie, who are nobles. The story kind of follows Mel mostly, but Mel and Nellie, when they were younger, grew up really close together. Nellie was always calling Mel her prince, and Mel played along, of course. But was like, one day you'll have to grow up. She's like, no, I don't have to. You'll be my prince forever. Well, Nellie grew up, and she had a party on her like 14th or 16th birthday. I don't remember. 14th?
It's her 14th, yes.
Her 14th birthday. She had a party and had to meet suitors that she had to get married to eventually. And during that party, a mysterious white-haired girl shows up in the middle of the party, and the party stops for a second because someone knocked on the door, and it was like, oh! And then they were like, no, keep the party going. So they kept the party going, but Mel was like, who is this? So later on, he goes investigating and finds out who she is. She's a white-haired girl. She's here to become one of the next maids. So she's like a maid in training. And Mel's like, great. Has an interest in her, falls in love with her, and they kind of have a thing going on. So Nellie gets angry because, of course, she gets engaged to somebody that she doesn't want to marry. And she's like, Nellie, tell our parents, or Mel, tell our parents that I don't want to marry this guy. He sucks. And Mel's just like, well, you have to. This is just what happens. It's your duty, whatever. And Nellie's like, no, you're supposed to be my prince. So she gets upset about it. She finds out that the white-haired girl is actually their half-sister. Dun, dun, dun.
Da, da, da.
And she snatches the white-haired girl's wig. And then Nellie wears said wig to pretend she's a white-haired girl, and sneaks into Mel's bedroom and gives him a kiss and is like, oh, you thought I was a white-haired girl? Well, no, but I guess you like sisters anyway. And that's how Mel finds out that they're related. So he runs away trying to find the white-haired girl, and while he's trying to find her, he finds a bald, disgusting-looking beggar, and he's like, unhand me. But she's like jostled away, and her hood flies back, and he's like, oh, you're the white-haired girl, you're just bald. And Mel doesn't recognize her at first. And Mel tries to convince the white-haired girl, like, oh, it's okay, no one has to know, we can just be happy together. But she turns him away, she runs away. Nellie is married off to someone she doesn't love, and Mel dies alone, I'm pretty sure.
I think technically Nellie's like declared basically insane for attacking a maid and is just kind of locked away in her house alone.
That's so sad!
Yeah.
Oh no!
Like, to be fair, she did very much attack a maid and drive her out of the house.
Yeah, exactly, so I don't blame her. Oof. We will not be getting bald Freyja. Absolutely not.
What if I snatch your wig the way Nellie did the white-haired girls?
No! Start crying! It's my white hair, not yours. Okay, and then we go on to chapter 2. The maid's basically like, ooh, that sucks. Anyway, on to the next one.
That's kind of her attitude about all of these stories, huh?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She just closes the door and she's like, oof. Anyways,
let's move on. So,
did you remember anything? No? Okay, let's keep going.
Let's keep going then. So they go down to the cellar, and that's where chapter 2 takes place. Basically, there's a beast in the mansion. So the maid finds the beast, who just took shelter here. and helps him learn language and manners, and kind of acts like a normal human being. And then, when a merchant looking for refuge enters the manor, the beast tries to act normal and is like, okay, normal table manners, normal person, we're talking the same language, okay, this is great. And then he finds out that the merchant has a knife with him. And he's like, you've come here to kill me, haven't you? Is that what you're gonna do with that knife? And he's like, no, I just wanted to protect myself. But he gets scared and he kills the merchant anyway. And then he realizes, oh, it's kind of fun. So he goes and kills a bunch of other people. Maybe he doesn't realize that it's fun. But he just, other people come to the mansion and the same thing happens again and again and again. He keeps killing people, and the poor maid is like, not again, has to drag them away, and, you know, it's fun. And
she even has to like cook them for him and stuff.
Oh
and,
yeah,
like...
you're right. Oh, so bad. Poor maid. No wonder she's like, sheesh.
Sheesh. Her like having to chop up a person. Sheesh.
Exactly. So the killings go on until the white-haired girl shows up again, but this time she has shorter hair, and she's also blind. And I don't remember if it's at this point or if it's in chapter 3. But the maid is like, don't you remember me? And she's like, huh? And I'm like, okay.
I think that does happen in both chapters.
I think it does.
Yeah.
Chapter 2 was just like, do you remember me? The white-haired girl was like, no. But what's your name?
In chapter 2, she's like, you're a little familiar, but...
Yeah, but I don't actually know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then the maid's just like, okay, and continues. So, the white-haired girl, because she's blind, is like, you're just the same as me. It doesn't matter what you look like, you're just the same as me. So she helps teach the beast how to be human again. And then, during the middle of their piece, another beast shows up in the mansion. And she's like, what? And he's like, what? And so he gets scared and kills the other beast before the white-haired girl sees. Because, he's just scared. And it turns out that the other beast was actually his half-Japanese lover named Pauline. So, back in the beginning, he was on a shipwreck, and he washed up on shore, and he was dehydrated and ill and didn't speak their language, so people in the village called him a beast. So he assumed anyone who shared his appearance or his race was also a beast. So he got freaked out and killed her, and didn't realize that it was his lover, Pauline. Poor Pauline. So, Pauline went to the mansion to look for her lover. Promised she wouldn't go inside, but she did anyway, because she saw it was him, and then got killed. It's so sad.
Pauline has a really rough go of it.
She does. She really does. So there was a boy that Pauline met and befriended before they went to the mansion, and she went up with him, and she was like, yeah, I'm not gonna go in. Don't worry, I'm just gonna take a look, try to find him. Yeah, goes in anyway. The young boys, Javi was like, no, I'm gonna go back to the village and get all the villagers, and we're gonna go infiltrate the manor and take out the beast once and for all. So, meanwhile, while they're planning that, the white-haired girl gets sick, and the beast is like, uh-oh, I have to go get you some medicine, or a doctor. I'll be right back. So he goes down to the village. You know, everything's going well until he hears, did you hear? All like the villagers actually went up to the mansion to go kill the beast. And he's like, oh no. So he runs back to the mansion, and by the time he gets there, the white-haired girl is dead because the villagers killed her. And he freaks out and he kills everyone in the village. But it turns out, at the end of the day, he was a bit of a psychopath anyway, and loved torture and murder. So, was he a beast because of how people looked at him, or was he actually a beast? Like, it's a whole thing. Basically, that's the end of that story.
Oof.
Oof. So she closes the door, and she's like, well, that was a lot. Back upstairs. And, goes upstairs to the billiards room. I don't know if that's the actual name for it or not, but it's the
I think
billiards
that is what
room.
they called it.
Yeah. Okay, good. Or like the lounge or something like
Yeah,
that.
or like the den or something. Whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
We know what
yeah,
we're talking about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So open the door. There's Jacopo, Mr. Jacopo, and he is an Italian. He's just an Italian.
He
Who's
sure
in
is
America.
Italian.
He sure is. He is in America to help contribute and invest in the building of the railway. So, he has a bunch of business partners, but he also has a wife, and this wife is someone that he was arranged to marry by his parents and her parents, because she had power and status, I guess, but he was the one with money, so they were like, "You have to get married." And he was actually kind of nice to her when they first got married. He tried to he actually fell in love with her, but he grew up in essentially the mafia and he was the next in line for the family and had to look out for his mafia family. So he wasn't a great person. He me trying to remember. He gets mad at the white hair girl anytime that she's around, or yeah, this is difficult.
He basically tells her to just always stay far away, not to get near his meetings.
Yeah, exactly.
Tears down
Just
her
really-
rose garden, all this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Eventually, it gets so bad that Maria, which is another main, she is best friends with the white hair girl. Is also childhood friends with Jacopo. Yes, childhood friends with Jacopo. So Maria tries to act as the in-between, where she talks to the white hair girl is like, "Hey, you know what? He's gone for the night. Let's just hang out. Let's just have a nice time." And the white hair girl's like, "Okay." And she's like, "Put on this perfume. You'll smell nice. We'll go and we'll dance, and you can get dressed up, and it'll be fun." And then they go out and they dance when she was supposed to be staying in her room. And then Jacopo comes home unexpectedly and is like, "Ah, where are you going? Who are you seeing?" And she was like, "No one. I would never cheat on you." But he assumes that she is anyway. So she gets locked away in a shed in the garden. And Maria's like, "Oh no, let me be the communication source between you and your husband." So the white haired girl writes letters, and Maria takes them to Jacopo. However, Maria is dastardly. And she has a different motive, where she doesn't want to see Jacopo succeed. She wants Jacopo to be ruined. So she was like, "Okay, well, I will take these letters that the white-haired girl wrote, addressed to Jacopo, and then just change the name and give it to him and be like, 'Oh no, she's cheating on you.'" And it basically drives the relationship apart, and Jacopo almost dies a couple times. It ends with Jacopo shooting Maria after he finds out why she's doing this. And there's a whole last meeting too. Oh boy.
Oh boy, there's a lot going on in chapter 3.
There is a lot going on in chapter 3. Basically, she was ignored for so long that she's, of course, starting to kind of lose her mind, just sitting in the shed all day. So, and her only communication really with the outside world is Maria and these letters. So she is like, "Okay, I have decided that on the day of the opening ceremony for the railroad, if he doesn't come to get me and talk to me by then I am out of here." And he goes, "Okay, on the day of the ceremony, I will go and take her with me and tell her, just go have a nice chat with her and everything will be okay after that. Maria, tell her when the date is." And Maria's like, "Okay." Or I think Maria's the one who suggested it in the first place. But in the end, Maria did not communicate the new date, only the old date. So, by the time that Jacopo went to go see the white-haired girl, she was gone. and he also dies alone. It's very sad.
Oof.
He searches for her far and wide, but it is assumed that she died out there somewhere because she was not mentally there. She was not physically well. And Maria dies because Yakupo shoots her. Yeah, that's the ending of that story, which is great. So so the maid closes that door and is like, okay, that's not you either. Let's keep going. So, but she's actually sad this time. She's like, wow, the white-haired girl really didn't deserve that. And then they go and they walk down another hall, and that's when we see a painting. And somebody in the painting starts talking to you. And that's kind of, I think, where we left off.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait. Yeah. I think we, like, jump into the picture, don't we?
No, I think we're just talking to the painting. Like, it's just started talking at us.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, I remember, I think the door closed and the maid wasn't there. So we're just kind of standing there like, hello?
That's right.
Where'd she go?
That's right. Mm-hmm. Alright, any questions, anybody?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Aqua also has a bit of a summary. I'm not sure if we should do questions first and then summary, or summary and then questions.
We can see if anybody has any questions real quick
Yeah,
while
I
we're
think
reading.
we got
Or honestly,
questions.
even if you guys just want to ask questions while I'm like reading out my little bit.
Yeah, that's also okay.
Yeah. And then, because like I have chat right here, we can always just scroll up and down.
Yeah.
Alright. So yeah, there are like a lot of mysteries kind of swelling about this entire story, you know, involving both the characters and the setting. Whispered about in every chapter, kind of briefly mentioned, and then kind of passed aside is this idea that there is a witch that cursed the mansion, and that all who like live there are fated to fall to ruin because of it. And there's like, you know, this whole question of who is this witch? Like, you know, what's her deal? And what exactly is the curse? Yeah, even do you believe in the witch? Like, Freyja, do you believe in the witch?
I sure do.
Oh, I see.
Do you?
Oh, I mean, like, things have been pretty cursed. Like, nothing good's
They
really
have
happened. Everybody has kind of met with ruin we've seen in this house so far. Hello, Nah!
Hi, Na!
Hi! So yeah, that is one big question. If anybody has any, like, also guess answers for all these mysteries and questions, we would love to hear.
Absolutely.
There is also the question of who exactly the maid is. You know, like, the maid has appeared in every story. She does not seem to age. Unlike the white-haired girl, she keeps all her memories. You know, just like, who is she? They talk about how she's kind of scary. They talk about how she's very, very cold to the touch, as if there is something off about her, like, whole body. So that's pretty freaky. Like, who or even what is this maid? And she is somebody who brings up the witch a lot and has all of these kind of cryptic like, conversations with the white-haired girl.
Very cryptic.
Including, like, basically being like, hey, do you really think your memories about, like, your family and stuff are real? Like, ever thought about that? You know? We also have the question of who the master is. This person that we are technically playing as between doors, who is being told all these stories by the maid. All we really know is that they are someone who the maid has been waiting for a very long time. Is the master of this house. And, you know, does not seem to have any reflection in anything in the house. So we have no idea, like, what this master looks like, who they are. Although at one point in a mirror we did have a brief glimpse of white hair when we passed by it.
That's right.
Which also brings us to the question of who is the white-haired girl? Like, what is her entire deal? What is her entire role in all of this? Because, you know, across eras, she consistently reappears in the mansion, seems to, like, be reborn as somebody with the same appearance, the same basic personality, but in, you know, wildly varying circumstances, and she always gets caught up with kind of the current master of the house, and, you know, very much wrapped up in what leads to their downfall.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a big question itself of who is she? What's her role in this? Why does she keep appearing here? You know, what's her connection to all of this? Much to consider.
It's a lot. You gotta put your thinking caps on.
Lots of angles to consider, and it's hard not to be like, oh, well, it seems like it could be this, but that seems like, you know, the obvious answer. So, like, they wouldn't do that, right? But then, like, if it's not that, then what is the answer?
Right!
Very good at doing things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excited to get into it and
Yes.
find out all these mysteries.
We will be doing chapter 4 tonight, and I've been looking forward to this, for
Yeah!
sure.
Me too.
It's gonna be fun.
Let's go!
Yes. So I will switch over and get us all ready. Oh, are you ready, Freyja?
I am.
Are you sure?
I think so. I hope so. Do I remember?
You better be.
I don't know. Also, thank you for the thirsty redeem.
Oh, another thirsty redeem. Thank you. Ah, that is nice.
Yum, 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 yum.
I agree. I love games and movies that like give you constant questions and like invite you to try and figure it out. It's so much
Me
fun.
too.
All right. Oh, yes. And so we have questions to ask the
Yeah.
painting. He said we could ask him any questions we wanted.
That's right.
All right. You know, chat, which one do we want to ask first? Maybe I'll run a little poll.
And depending which question, I guess, gets 1, 2, 3, and 4.
2, 3, 4. So the number will line up. We'll do, this is a quick one, it just has to be a 2-minute poll. So go for it, chat. What are you most interested in asking first? Ooh, it's fun watching them go up.
It really is.
Yeah, because it's fun, because I'm like, oh, this way I get to see what, like, questions chat is interested in knowing about. Ooh. And yeah, you can vote more than once with bits or channel points. So if there's a question you're dying to have us go for, feel free to vote for that. More than once. Or if you want to vote for more than one because you have interest in multiple.
Yeah, that's also okay.
I do like that there's none so far for who is the painting.
Yeah. Like, not important right now.
To be fair, like, it is, like, not... Only one seashell for a vote? It's supposed to be, like, 10! I keep messing up the seashells!
Oh no! That's okay.
That's fine, that's fine. I'll fix it next time!
Yeah.
Oh my
Poll
gosh.
looks pretty good so far.
Yeah.
Pretty consistent.
It's because when I open the polls in OBS, it doesn't, like, properly show me how much I've put in for seashells. I don't know if we're gonna ask them all. I don't know, chat. You think I know what's gonna happen in this game? You think I know anything about this? I don't. This is blind. This is a blind playthrough.
This is a blind playthrough, yeah.
Oh man, we're at a tie. The poll's almost over.
I will say I did vote for number 4, so you can
Okay.
ignore that, and we can do number 3.
We'll see if anything changes before the end. Alright, we'll do number 3 since that'll be a tiebreaker.
Yeah,
So
let's go.
let's ask, what is this place? Freyja.
I forgot I was on push to talk. Oof. Talk about some hard-hitting questions. I'm probably not the only one who'll be able to answer that for you. No, not the one. I don't have a very deep connection with this mansion, you see. I swear it. I got nothing to gain from lying, do I? It's my regrets that have turned me into this. I wasn't summoned here by no one. That said, there is one thing I can tell you. This place summons people. People who have ties to something that happened long, long ago. No one knows anything even happened. I didn't know either till she told me. Though I haven't the foggiest idea how much of it is true or not. Are you here because you were summoned by her? Or did you come here of your own will to find someone? If you came here for your own volition and you weren't summoned by her, then mayhaps you'll be the one who can break.
Mayhaps.
Mayhaps!
Alright, yeah, we do get to ask all the questions, so we'll go in the order of the poll.
Might as well ask her that directly. But she won't say till you've regained your own self. I see. Well, in that case, if you want to know, you know what you gotta do. It's entirely up to you whether you make an ally or an enemy out of her. There's no guarantee if she's even right in the head. You never know. Maybe you're not the only one who hasn't found out themselves.
Then I believe Who Am I was the next most popular one.
Just because you don't know who you are doesn't mean you can go around asking other people.
I like the painting.
Me too. I'm not a person, you say? Well, no, you're right, but...
I also like that the protagonist apparently sassed the painting back.
Me too! I'm not gonna know anything about you, and you can't tell me yourself. I mean, from where I'm standing, you look almost like a walking cloud of shadow. I can't even tell what you look like. The maid who was with you before, did she call you master? I see. But the question is, which era's master are you? How many doors have you been through? 3 doors, eh? And of those, did any of them bring anything back? Ah, well, it's not an easy thing recovering yourself. Or maybe you weren't behind any of those 3 doors. Yeah, that's gotta be it. That was your first time witnessing those tragedies. Yours is another door. So tell me, how'd you feel looking behind those doors?
How did you feel, chat? I'd be curious to know. It's a good question.
Which one's your favorite door? Which one was the scariest? Which one?
How did they make you feel?
How did they make you feel?
Tell us all about it. It felt sexy, whoa!
Whoa!
Whoa! Whoa!
Whoa!
Whoa!
Wasn't expecting that one.
Me neither! Wasn't ready for that! Oh, Tyrek felt ooh-woo. I see.
I understand.
The first door made you feel icky. That is valid. That's
Yeah, me too. I
Yep.
understand. Oh my goodness. Was it frightening? Saddening? Heart-wrenching? Well, let me tell you something.
I just feel like I can fix all these men.
Me too.
God.
You were able to bear them because they weren't your tragedies. If the next story open is yours, will you be able to bear it? Will you be able to accept your own tragedy? It's one thing seeing others suffer, but your own... If you have to face emotions you wanted to keep buried, secrets you wanted to keep hidden away, and pain you wanted to forget, do you think you'll be able to accept them as your own? If you can't, I wouldn't blame you. I wouldn't accuse you of running if you chose not to reclaim your old self. Nothing wrong with erasing your memory of something if it was so bad you didn't want to face it in the first place. Let it be written as someone else's story. That'll make it a whole lot easier for you.
Pretty sure Bestia's unfixable.
Probably.
Yeah, A lot of women sure did try their best to fix him, and it sure didn't work, huh?
True. Because you never know. The most unfortunate tale of all may well be your own.
You will try dying, Yuzuki. I think that was the point.
Oh.
I love Bestia, though. Valid.
Me too, me too. Or perhaps that goes for everything about you. You won't know till you'll see it? Well, that's true enough. But once you do, there might not be any turning back. Or do you mean to reclaim your old self no matter the cost? If you do, if you're sincerely prepared to do that, then be wary of the tale that comes next. Any tragedy that seems too beautiful to be real is precisely that. A fabrication. If it turns out you're someone from behind the next door, then perhaps you're my... Oh?
Oh. Who are you?
Who am I? A painting!
How did you call?
I was not expecting that! Me? Well, as you can see, I'm a painting.
Yeah, Tyrk makes I agree. You know, even if my life hasn't been anything like those past 3 doors, it's like, could you look at, you know, something horrible that happened to you in the past and just accept all that?
Right? Especially if it really changed who you are, and really, if it's some sort of trauma that is, stuck with you, it would be really hard to go back through and have to see it again. And be like, no, I don't want to... It would just be so difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Why did I end up as a painting? Hard to say. Maybe I was reborn as a painting because I used to really like art. Though there are things I painted that I wish I hadn't. Maybe that regret's what's turned me into this. Hopefully I get the chance to apologize to him about that. Anywho, no point in getting into any more detail than that. Wouldn't mean anything to you. So enough about me. Oh, right. You don't know anything about yourself. A shame, that. Alright then. A favor for you, since you can't tell me about yourself. If you run into him, could you tell him I really regret what I did? I know I should tell him myself, but, well, as you can see, I'm stuck here. Can't move an inch, so I've got to ask for help. I feel absolutely terrible about painting that picture. I know, yeah, the deadline's way past on that one. But that's what makes it regret, yeah? Because you can't take it back. By the time I had realized, it was too late. He was already dead. He's long since passed away. Huh? How are you supposed to give a dead fellow a message? Well, for all you know, the dead could be wandering these halls too. So please, if you come across him, tell him I said that. That I didn't mean any harm with that painting. Or maybe you are him? Interesting. Haven't talked that much in a long time. Feels great. And now that I got that out of my system, I should be able to get some good sleep. You're probably still wandering in the dark right now, but I really hope you find the outcome you want. And I mean that. You can either reclaim your old self, or you can toss it to this... toss it aside. The choice is yours, either way. Now, since it looks like your escort isn't showing up, what do you plan to do next? How about taking a look around the place, since you've got a little free time? Could be you come across some things you wouldn't with her around. Oh, right. If you're gonna go exploring, I've got the perfect thing. Stick your hand to the canvas, would ya?
The painting was still wrapped in an impenetrable darkness. A perfect, all-consuming void. The man had told you to put your hand into it. You. Okay, I'll do
What are we
another.
gonna do? Yeah, let's get a poll.
Yeah. Okay.
I won't vote this time. I'll just watch.
Here we go. Let me just set this up real fast. And we'll run this real quick 1-minute poll.
All right.
Are we gonna reach or refuse?
I'm so curious.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, everybody
Wow.
wants to reach. Let me
Oh,
in.
wow.
Let me in.
You guys want
Why?
into this painting?
Why are you close to the pop-up?
Let me in.
Both good memes.
They are. Just jump right in, like Mario.
Like, I was gonna say, like Ebe. Yeah, like Mario.
Oh, I'm so excited for the Eve remake.
Me
That's
too.
gonna be- I'm really excited for that.
Right? Do you think you're gonna stream it?
I definitely want to. Do you think you're gonna?
Yes, I think
Oh
so
my
too.
gosh, yeah.
So
We'll have to
fun.
both stream it and then we can talk about it. Gary!
Yeah.
Oh my god, I loved Gary so much.
Gary was
I can't
really
wait to see him
good.
again.
Me too.
Alright, looks like we're reaching into the
Reach!
frame. You extended your hand for the painting. The moment your fingertips brushed against the darkness, it swallowed your entire hand up to the wrist.
No, not there. That tickles. A little to the right.
As the man in the painting had instructed, you groped around in the inside of the darkness. Before long, you felt something hard at your fingertips. Whoa!
Oh yeah.
Clenching the object, you withdrew your hand. Your arm was still intact. You spread your fingers, and there you found a key. How naughty!
Oh no.
It is a pretty key, though.
It is pretty. Oh, that tickled. With that key, you can access the master bedroom. A while back, she tossed it into me. The damned litter bug. So yeah, it ain't mine. Don't worry about giving it back. However, I bet there's something worth seeing in there if she felt the need to toss that key. Alright, well, I'm gonna get some sleep. You take care. If you happen to learn my name, come pay me another visit. Should the fancy strike you.
Having said that, the painting fell quiet. In your hand lay a small key. It seemed rather antiquated and vaguely familiar. Silence once again drew over the corridor. You stood there all alone, no sign of the maid. After considering it for a few moments, you decided to explore the mansion on your own. We're all grown up, we can go alone.
Oh,
There's many choices here.
there are.
So, maybe we'll do another poll at least for order. I don't know if we'll be able to put all here though.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll just start with a few.
Do we each go to all of them? Do you remember?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Alright. Oh, I forgot to name the poll. Where go?
Where go?
So this will just be to decide at least the order of the first few places we go.
Mm-hmm.
We could also run another quick poll for the other ones and see how many votes those get.
We could.
So I could probably keep track of that easy enough.
Okie dokies. I trust you. I cannot.
Yeah.
Y'all want to go to the library?
Everybody wants to do some reading.
Y'all smart? Y'all can read?
Whoa! Not me.
Not me either. This is a huge manor.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, last couple seconds to vote.
Library.
Then we'll do... Call made. Alright. And then for these two other options. Oh, Tarek would like to think that he can read.
I'm impressed. You know,
Good for
I think
you.
It's really good. Yeah.
Huh. Alright. Only a few seconds left.
Alright, alright. You know, earlier Aqua and I were talking about what we had for dinner, and it turns out we got dinner from the same place.
I know. Just
And
by
we're both
accident.
full. Yeah, just by
Without
accident.
even like talking about it really, other than like Freyja mentioning what she had gotten a little bit earlier in the day. And then it
Yeah.
made me hungry for something else from the same place's menu.
See? Same wavelength, same
Yes.
brain cells.
Okay, so technically bedroom and library tied. Maybe we'll do one more quick tiebreaker.
Alright, let's
Just
see where
one
we
last
go
poll.
first. Yeah, let's go. Interesting that nobody wanted to call for the media.
Mhm.
We're like, let's go exploring.
Alright.
Tiebreaker.
Yes. I'll be interesting to see which wins this one.
Right?
Hmm. So far, library's winning. Y'all pretending you don't want to go to a bedroom. I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, I see. I get it.
I get it.
Usually from this, you're like, okay, the master bedroom is probably the last place I want to go. Because that's where the key is. So if you go there, it's like, okay, time to continue on with the story.
Well, I guess I did say that we would get a chance to visit them all, so the order doesn't really
True.
matter.
That is true.
Alright, I'm gonna call it early because library is absolutely winning.
Let's go! We want
Alright.
100% completion. That's right.
It's true. It's important. Gotta get those Steam achievements. Library to read and get sleepy enough to go to bed. The smell of dusty books filled the air of the library. You approached a shelf to examine one of the books. And suddenly, an avalanche of them came falling to the floor. You stared blankly at the mountain of books. They had fallen down on their own, but they showed no signs of putting themselves away. Since no one else was there to do it, you began placing the books back on the shelf. 1, 2, 3, a dozen. And as soon as you had gotten them all back up, they came crashing back down again.
Oh
You wished very much to implore of the maid's assistance, but she did not appear to be in the area. Pretending you had not seen anything, you made your way back into the hallway.
no! Very clumsy.
Master just went, "That's not my problem." Alright,
Yeah.
master bedroom. You inserted the key you had been given into the door's keyhole, and with a twist, the door opened. The master bedroom was shrouded in darkness, much like every other room in the mansion. It had evidently been left unused for some time. The air in the room was stale and forlorn.
Master,
A voice seemed to ring out from somewhere.
come on, get up. Up with you. Master!
That was cute.
Thank you. See, what did I tell you? It's so much nicer in here with a little light.
Without warning, your whole world took on bright, vivid colors. Light streamed through the window, illuminating a well-lit bedroom. A woman's silhouette stood before you.
Wait a sec. Don't you hide under your bedspread? Get out of there. Oh, but Master, you agreed that I could open the windows. Don't worry, I've put curtains up. If it gets too bright, you can draw them. Mornings take the best parts of being outside and squeeze them all into the same few hours. You don't have to go outside in the sunlight for it either. Just listen to all the wonderful sounds. The joyous songs of the birds, the swaying of the trees, the rustling of leaves.
You tried calling out to the silhouette, but it did not respond. Reaching out for her, your hand simply passed through her body. It did not seem to be you that she was speaking to. Perhaps you were looking at a scene from some other period of time.
Am I being as pushy as I feel right now? I completely misjudged you. You're the exact opposite of what I thought you were. Let's see. I thought you were cold and cruel, heartless and incomprehensible. But I'm beginning to get a better idea. You try to put on airs, but you're really rather childish. You have a short temper, but can be surprisingly playful. What else? You have a pretty difficult personality, too. Now, hear me out here. That's not everything. You gave me a chance to talk and you listened intently. You can be kind of nice, too. We agreed that we would live together, not just in the same house, so we've got plenty of time to add more to the list. And I hope you can make your own list about me, too. This is just the beginning, after all. We've got a long, long time ahead of us. Plenty enough to get to know each other, no? Let's not waste any time then. What do you say we do something today that we haven't been able to do before? Where should we begin? Oh, I know! We can get this place cleaned up. Now that there's some actual light in here, we can see all sorts of things we'd probably rather not. Like dust. All over the place.
When the woman's shadow faded away, the master bedroom was transformed back into its old, dreary state.
Master, can you say my name?
You were unsure how to describe the urge welling up within your breast. You could not say her name.
What?
What do you guys think of that scene? That's an interesting one.
It is.
You stood unmoving in the master bedroom for some time, but it did not appear anything else was going to happen. So you decided to head somewhere else. Alright. Then after that, let's basically just go down the list because they all scored the same.
Okie dokies.
You made your way to the mansion's entrance. There was no one around, nor any source of light. Groping through the darkness, you found the front door, which was sealed shut with a heavy bar. You pressed against the bar, but it remained firmly in place. The door did not budge either. It seemed you could not leave the mansion. Burn the witch. Crucify the impure. When you made to step away from the entrance, you heard a muffled voice. You looked around, but were unable to determine the source of the voice. Nor could you be sure whom you had heard either. Giving up on finding anything at the entrance, you decided to head somewhere else. You made your way to the room with the fireplace. What remained of the fire crackled weakly, leaving the room in a veil of darkness. You remembered that you had awoken here. Out of sheer curiosity, you sat down in the rocking chair you had been asleep in. Creak, creak, creak. It was as soothing as a cradle to a baby, and in short order, you found your consciousness drifting from your grasp.
Reading a story by the fireplace like this almost makes it feel like we're in another world, doesn't it, Master? I bet that's what... Troubadours?
Troubadours.
Troubadours, thank you. Perform at pubs, so they can be near the fire. Oh, you're such a cynic. But that's okay. Say, do you remember when I first arrived here? When I was cleaning the library?
Your eyes slowly slid open. Fragments of a pleasant dream lingered in the back of your mind. The crackling of a fire, the taste of warm wine. However, there was nothing pleasant about the fireplace sitting before you. No warm, crackling flames. In fact, the brisk air of the room overpowered the remnants of embers left there. A chill ran down your spine. Afraid you might freeze stiff if you stayed there much longer, you resumed your exploration of the mansion. The scent of cigarette smoke lingered in the den. However, the room was silent. Not even an echo of the men's chattering remained. Something was moving. Billiard balls. There was no one present to strike the balls. They rolled spontaneously around the table.
A ghost!
A ghost is playing billiards! The paths they traced across the surface were rough and erratic, contrasting that of when the former master had held the cue.
The ghost didn't even invite me? What the heck?
What the heck? Do you know how to play billiards?
Yeah!
Oh, I didn't know
love
that.
it. Yeah, we should
Wow.
play sometime.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
The spheres collided awkwardly with one another, not a single one coming close to the pockets. As an experiment, you pulled a ball off the table. In response, the paths of the balls became even clumsier. Having lost one of their targets, they began bouncing aimlessly off the cushioned walls of the table. As you stared intently at the table, a man's voice rang out from somewhere in the room.
Your man!
Spinning around, you saw a silhouette of a man. However, you could not make out what the man was saying. The man thrust his finger at the table. He appeared to want you to return the ball. You reluctantly placed the billiards ball back on the table. When you did, the balls resumed endlessly colliding with one another, never landing in any of the pockets.
Oh, he's bad at it.
You looked up to find the shadow gone. Having determined that the maid was not going to appear in the den, you exited the room, making your way back into the corridor. The Rose Garden.
The Rose Garden?
The Rose Garden. Look, your head is covered in roses.
Oh, you got petals on the book. This isn't mine. I can't afford to.
Though you could hear the sound of children laughing, you could not see them. Regardless, their cheerful voices warmed your heart. You decided to linger there in the garden for some time. Along with the children's laughs, wafted a sweet fragrance. The wind blew, whisking flower petals up into the air. It was an enchanting sight. But after a while, the roses began to wilt. You could no longer hear the children's voices either. A young man stood alone in the withered rose garden. Oh, thirsty redeem, let's take a drink. Thank you. As you drew nearer, you called out to the youth. But the young man did not appear to notice you. He merely stood there, staring vacantly across the garden. The youth muttered something in a lifeless voice.
This isn't what I wanted. I just wanted a normal, peaceful life. I can't bear being alone. I can't take this. Someone get me out of here. Oh God. Tell me that I'm not the bad one here.
You tried to call out to the young man several times, but he did not seem to hear you. He simply continued muttering to himself. Mel's having a normal one.
He's having a normal one.
Oh, damn, backlog. Before long, the youth's shadow faded into nothing. Unable to bear the chilly air any longer, you stepped back into the mansion. Cellar.
Spooky. I don't want to be back down here.
Too bad we're down here.
No.
When you descended into the cellar, you heard beast-like snarling. Along with it came a sour odor and the sound of ripping flesh. You could not see the beast, but that did not make it any less unpleasant.
Ew.
You made to retreat from the cellar.
Oh god.
What? But before you could, a shadowy creature lunged at you. You reflexively squeezed your eyes shut. After several moments, you opened your eyes again to find a silhouette of a man standing in place of the beast. You and the shadow stared at one another for some time. You asked the shadow a question, and the shadow responded.
Spooky.
That's normal.
That's
However,
normal?
that's normal. That's what I sound like before I have coffee.
Oh.
However, you had no idea what it said. The shadow seemed to be trying to communicate something to you, but trying to make sense of something you could not understand was pointless. That's how you sound after you have coffee.
Oh no! That's what a key smash sounds like? Oh, I don't like that.
Having no reason to remain in the cellar any longer, you made your way back upstairs. Okay, let's go to the window. The pretty stained glass window that Bestia broke.
Oh yeah!
You approached the stained glass window. An array of pews was arranged facing the stained glass. There seemed to be an air of tranquility about the room. You sat down in one of the pews and stared quietly forward for some time. For a moment, you felt like you were on the verge of recalling something, but ultimately, the memory never managed to surface. The maid did not appear to be there. Where could she have gone? You decided to resume exploring the mansion.
Only one. Oh.
Girl, help!
Girl, help!
Girl, help! You tried calling for the maid. It was quiet. A sense of loneliness fell over you. We can keep calling for her.
Let's go.
Girl, help!
Girl, help, please! You're just not supposed to let go of my hand. Also, Tarek, that's really cute.
I'm glad. This is a pretty, chill part.
Yeah, right?
Girl, help!
Maid, where are you?
Girl, help!
Girl, help!
Girl, I am begging you.
Girl, I'm on my hands and my knees.
Girl, what do we gotta do?
The maid effed off.
She did.
Come on.
Girl, I need your help.
Please.
Hi, Carrot, how are you?
Welcome, Carrot.
We're trying to get our girl to help. She abandoned us.
We need the maids to come back and hold her hand. She said not to let go.
I know.
But she's still let go anyway. Oh no! May we rest in peace.
Dang, I thought something special happened if you did that 10 times, but I'm pretty sure I counted 10.
Really? One more time, one more
One
time.
more time.
No, that's tragic.
Oh well, let's go to the stained glass window. Oh, it's just the achievement. For some reason I thought you get a
Oh.
little bit of different dialogue the 10th time. I remembered that,
Darn.
Ron.
That's okay.
You return to the room with the stained glass window,
It's
after
nice.
calling for the maid many times.
Many, many times. It's nice picturing the protag just walking around the mansion and be like, Maid? Hello? Maid? And like running out through the walls, just be like, come on, where are you?
You had searched throughout the mansion, but had no luck finding the maid. You felt somewhat tired, though you were not quite sure whether it was physical exhaustion or otherwise. You had little interest in doing any more moving about. Taking a seat in one of the pews, you stared up at the stained glass. Staring solemnly down back at you was the archangel said to weigh the souls of the deceased. Perhaps he was trying to weigh your soul. Girl, help.
Girl, please, we desperate here. Master. Master. Oh, there you are, Master. You gave me quite the scare. After returning from the third door, you disappeared without a word. Oh my, it was I who disappeared. That is quite strange. I did not go anywhere as far as I am aware. Nevertheless, I am happy to have found you. I would have been at a complete loss for what to do if I had been separated from you yet again. I did indeed say that when you first arrived. I have been waiting for your return for a very long time. For centuries, as a matter of fact. That would make me a ghost then, you say? I am very much not a ghost. Would I be able to hold your hand if I were?
Saying this, the maid took your hand. It was cold enough to send a shudder down your spine, and completely devoid of life. Though, as chilling as it may have been, you still took comfort in the feeling of her hand in yours. The maid looked down at you with gentle eyes. After a few moments of silence, she sat down beside you.
The stained glass is quite beautiful, is it not? Every time I see it, it brings a tranquility to my heart. A dreadful, deep-rooted curse afflicts this mansion. However, this room is the one exception. Can you feel the purity that hangs in the air, Master? Yes? What is it, Master? You are correct. The stained glass window had been shattered and was not present in the time period of the previous tale. I wonder. Perhaps it is because the mansion we are in presently resides in a realm separate from the real world. We are in a world constructed from myriad of memories and histories. I am sure that when you regain your old self, Master, the mansion too shall be restored to its original state. So do try and remember, alright? Oh, yes. Where did you go in my absence, Master? I see. So you explored the mansion then? And did you find anything noteworthy? Memories. I am not quite sure what you mean. How peculiar. As a servant of this house, I pride myself in being aware of most everything present within these walls. I wonder whose memories they could be. The key to the master bedroom? Why did I throw away the key? I beg your pardon? You say a painting told you?
You could see perplexity on the maid's face. You had never seen her make such an expression before.
I know nothing of any key. Oh, Master, you should not tell jokes meant to cause others discomfort. But a talking painting, you say? You seem to have a rather vivid imagination. Maybe you can tell the next tale, Master. I am only teasing. Now, that was a nice break, but we should get moving. The tale I am about to show you is the last of the the mansion's memories.
Yes, it is a mystery game.
It is. I am certain you will remember yourself after seeing it. To our feet. The final door is not far. And please, do not let go of my hand.
Holding your hand, the maid led you to the far end of the room. Crossing beneath the stained glass window, a metal door came into view.
Our destination lies at the top of these stairs. There you will find one last door.
She pushed open the middle door, revealing a long spiral staircase. Yo, this is just like Utena.
Nice Utena reference, Fanamaru. It will be a bit of a walk, so let us be on our way. And please do watch your step. This is called an observation tower. Normally, towers such as this were built in castles or churches, so it is rather strange for there to be one in a mansion.
Melly, hello, how are you?
Hi, Melly! The last door I wish to show you, Master, resides at the top of this tower.
Rectangular windows were carved out of stone in several locations along the way up the spiral staircase. You attempted to peer out one of the windows, but all you could see was a thick layer of fog. Perhaps the maid's suggestion that the mansion did not presently reside in reality was, in fact, correct. With each step upwards, you found yourself gripped by an indescribable sense of anxiety. The feeling somewhat resembled irritation or annoyance. Sensing this, the maid tightly gripped your hand.
There is nothing to worry about. You will be fine. It is all in the past. No matter what may happen, so long as you do not let go of my hand, you will have nothing to fear.
You and the maid continued climbing the stairs. Up and up, around and around, marching ever nearer the supposed final door. High up into the tower, as light from below drew distant, a rotten wood door came into view. Patches of what appeared to be blood stained the surface, and holes had been bored into it with sharp objects of some sort. You heard a scream from far below, where no one should have been.
Yikes.
Kill the witch! Kill the witch! Kill the witch! Burn her, burn her, burn her! You were struck with fear. The next moment the maid opened the door. And then you slowly descended into darkness.
Dun dun dun! $10.99, so we are like way past. We're like a century behind.
Yeah, we're like 500 years before the first door.
Yeah. Wait, how long is a century? 1,000 years?
1,000
No, 100
years.
Wait. Isn't it 100?
Oh, it's 100. I'm dumb.
Wait, I don't know. We are 5 or 6 centuries behind.
Listen, I know things.
Me too. Definitely. Well, who is this?
I'll just take it. Set on a pot, set it on, and also pour water into it. Gather the pieces thereof into it, even every good piece, the thigh and the shoulder. Fill it with the choice bones. Take the choice of the flock and to also burn the bones under it, and make it boil well, and let them see the bones of it therein. Thus saith the Lord, woe to the bloody city, to the pot whose scum is therein, and whose scum is not gone out of it. Bring it out piece by piece. Let no lot fall upon it.
Where is she? Where did she go? She came down this way. I'm sure of it. Find her. Find her. And burn her. Burn the witch. 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 Burn her. Burn her. Burn her. Burn her. Burn her. Burn her.
I counted, you have 2 more.
Burn her. Burn her.
Then will I leave thee upon the land, I will cast thee forth upon the open field, and will cause all the fowls of the heaven to remain upon thee.
Thank you, Riri.
Burn her! And I will fill the beasts of the whole earth with thee, and I will lay thy flesh upon the mountains, and fill the valleys with thy height. I will also water with thy blood the land wherein thou swimmest, even to the mountains, and the rivers shall be full of thee. And when I shall put thee out, I will cover the heaven and make the stars thereof dark. And I will cover the sun with a cloud, and the moon shall not give her light. All the bright lights of heaven will I make dark over thee, and set darkness upon thy land. I seem to have lost them. Now, where am I? Where should I go from here? What am I to do? Darkness spreads as far as the eye can see. Not a ray of light shines down upon me. All that strokes my cheek are tendrils of darkness. Every passing day, every fading hour, my world is engulfed in ebony. There exists no kindness in this shadow, only solitude. I've lost track of how long I've been on the run, wandering aimlessly lost until I arrived at this dark forest. I no longer have anywhere to go. O Father who art in heaven, I kneel to thee with my heart and ask of thee thy blessing. O Father who art in heaven, I ask of thee to shine thy light upon me and show me the way. Please have mercy upon my soul. O Father who art in heaven, I do love thee dearly, hallowed be thy name. Please show me the way. I may be shunned and persecuted, and I may have no place to go, but nevertheless I am unable to give up on life, to cast aside my hope. O Father who art in heaven, please guide me unto salvation. O Father who art in heaven, please guide me. I can no longer remember when my life became naught but running, when it became endless wandering in the dark. And now, when I've reached the point where I have long since forgotten my hunger and thirst, my voice has become hoarse, my vision has gone blurry, and my consciousness begun sinking into a hazy morass. That mansion appears before me, wrapped in a morning fog that seems to foretell rain. Why are you sticking your tongue out, Freyja?
No reason.
I get to narrate this one. It's my turn.
Good luck!
You get to vibe, read chat, and commentate all you want.
Hell yeah!
Oh my. The mansion comes into view like the world fading in after a dream. It doesn't appear as though anyone lives here. All the windows are either boarded up or shuttered, as if it's long since been abandoned. A tower, which seems out of place in a personal residence, stands tall beside the mansion. The whole building seems as though it could disappear with the fog. It has an unwelcoming presence, freezing me in my tracks. However, if this is where you have led me, then I shall follow your guidance. Having nowhere else to go, this mansion is my only salvation, the light that guides my way, and so I must have faith that no matter what I find, whether spirits or wild beasts dwell within these walls, that this is where I will find peace. Is anyone there? Oops, I accidentally, skipped some. 1 second. 1 second.
Huh? Huh?
Here we go. You can try to remember the past. but it's an absolute utter waste of time. Erase everything, all your sorrows. Wipe them away for a fistful of happiness. Allow me to show you that you have no need of the past.
Spooky.
And some of the text is missing.
What's happening? What's going on?
It would be far more unusual for someone living in a house so deep in the woods, so far from civilization, like it's been forgotten to time. I can't imagine anyone spending their days here. I place my hand on the front door. What if I can't get in? I very much doubt I'll find anywhere else to stay wandering around through the woods. If the door doesn't open, then I'll die out here in the forest. I've come to accept much, but I'm not ready to forfeit my life yet. Please open.
You go, girl.
The door is heavy, and though it seems to protest my attempts to enter, it still opens much easier than I was expecting. I was worried over nothing. Alright, so I remembered this chapter actually has a very limited cast. Do you still want to narrate, Freyja, so you can have some reading to do?
Fine with me.
Yeah. Freyja gets to be the white-haired girl for a little bit.
Yeah, we take turns. I'll do my best to impersonate you.
I'd be interested in hearing your take. It'll be fun.
Pressure?
No, you're gonna do great. That's why I want to hear it.
Thank you. Looking in, I get the strangest impression light is being swallowed up into the mansion's depths. Rather than going inside, it feels as though I'm about to step outside the boundaries of this world. When I close the door, it's so dark I can't even tell where I'm walking.
I wonder if the window's open.
Though I manage to fumble my way over to a window, it's tightly shuttered, and the shutters are caked with rust. I'm probably not getting it open without a fight.
If only I had some source of light.
Thank you, T-Rex.
Yes, thank you. She's doing great.
Oh, Akka's doing a really, really good job, too. I love your voice for the white-haired girl.
Oh, thank you.
Whispery. I can't even see my hand waving in front of my face. It feels like the floor will fall out from under me and I'll sink into eternal darkness if I don't watch my step. Fighting back that fear, I slowly walk forward, tracing the wall with my hand. There's a door at the end of a long corridor. I pull it open, and a wisp of bone-chilling air brushes past me. It's too dark to see anything, but I can feel something different present in this area than the rest of the house. Uneasiness grips me.
Is anybody here?
My voice simply disappears into the void. No response. As I'm pushing forward through the freezing air, for a split second, I spot a shimmer of light. Squinting my eyes, I'm able to make out a large window. Unlike the others, it's not shuttered, but covered by drapes. My chances are slim, I imagine, but if there's even a slight possibility of getting some light in here, it's worth a shot. So I pull open the drapes. The next moment, faint but colorful light shines down on me. It's a stained glass window. From beyond the glass, I can hear the subtle pitter-patter of rain. I guess it finally started. The different colors of light blend into a milky white, dim but wondrous.
It's gorgeous. Why would someone cover this up? It's beautiful. With a little more light, it'd be... Please do not touch the drapes. Or the windows.
Suddenly, I hear a voice and can sense someone else in the room. The man's voice is emotionless, neither deep nor high. Before long, he comes into view, illuminated by dull orange candlelight.
I'm sorry for coming in uninvited. But, I did announce myself.
The man stands there, practically blending in with the shadows. Has he been there the whole time? He's staring straight at me. His gaze wavers slightly, but not enough for me to read anything in it. The candle in his hand and the light from the stained glass window are the only illumination in the room, neither of which are particularly bright. As a result, his outline is faint and blurred. It gives off the impression that he might vanish entirely between blinks.
My apologies. I assumed the house was abandoned. I suspect you would have preferred it to be abandoned. Not at all. He had that hair, though. He is pretty. He's so pretty.
So pretty.
Ah, Thirsty Redeem. Let's take a sip. Thank you, Riri.
Take a sip, babe.
Is this, do you live in this mansion? Yes, I have for a very long time.
Kinda does remind me of Alucard.
Oh yeah, I can see it.
I see it too.
I thought I had barred the front door, but it would seem I left it open. What brings you here? If you're lost, I'm happy to give you directions. There is a village west of here. It should take you maybe half a day on foot. If you're in need of money, help yourself to some of the furniture. Trade it for food at the village, then make your way to a larger town. Please allow me to stay here. Could you repeat that? I cannot go to the village. No, I cannot go anywhere. I am no longer able to freely return to any town. I'm being hunted. You seem rather young to be a sinner. So you have transgressed. I am neither a thief nor an adulterer. If I bear any sin, then it has been with me since birth. I will do everything I can to stay out of your way. I simply ask that you grant me shelter until it all blows over. If you wish to know of my transgression, I will tell you. So please, do not throw me out. I see. And do you ask me this aware of how people refer to this mansion? Pardon? It is said that a witch once lived in this house. And not just any witch, a cursed witch.
What a coincidence.
This house has been tainted by her seething hatred, and all who dwell within it meet their demise. But you live here, don't you? Like her too. I too am cursed. Huh? What kind of curse? The one thing I can tell you is that your life is in danger if you get involved with me. Should you approach my curse, I am likely to take your life.
Oh no.
You'll kill me? Yes, so you do not belong here. To live with me in this mansion is to sentence yourself to death.
Oh!
Danger. No matter what path I choose, I very much doubt I have a future. And if that's the case, then I shall live how I want. I don't care what people say about you or this mansion. I wish to stay here.
You go, girl. You put your foot down.
You might think I'm rather strange, but my heart tells me that I must stay here, that I was guided here. And hearing what you have to say only reinforces that. What are you scheming? I am not scheming anything. I am simply tired of running. So if your curse is going to kill me, then perhaps that's for the best. At the very least, you won't be hunting me. You won't try to flay me, or tear off my arms, or rip the flesh from my bones. And that's enough for me. If you have committed no sin, then why do they hunt you so fervently? I am accused of being a witch.
Dun dun dun.
Let's maybe take a little look at the backlog again.
Whoa! There's so much text missing.
So much missing. Alright. My lifeblood was your sustenance, your prosperity. Upon my blood did you build your lives, a sin so great it shall never be forgiven, and by my blood were your lives extinguished. This is the power granted unto me by God. My blood shall become a curse, blotting out the stars. I am the witch Morgana. Now let us tell a tale, the beautiful finale to this world.
Spooky!
Yes, the mansion is the house in the game title.
Yeah. Master. Please wake up. Return to me. Ah, have you come to, Master? I apologize for sending you through the door without warning. It must have given you quite the scare. But I beg your forgiveness. I heard a terrible screaming from down the stairs and I panicked. You say you saw the white-haired girl? I see. So you made it into the world beyond the door before me.
Thank you, Carrot. I appreciate that.
You're doing our bunny best. I am deeply relieved that I was able to take your hand before losing sight of you. I presume you have already grown familiar with the atmosphere of this time period, Master. If you have seen her, as you said, then you should have a basic grasp of the situation. She was a very misfortunate girl in this era, accused of being a witch, abused and persecuted. Her life was in constant danger. It was, again, her appearance that brought this upon her. That snow-white hair and those ruby-red eyes clearly differentiated her from everyone else. Oh, and I apologize. I neglected to mention that this story is unique. As for what sets it apart, that will be made clear as we proceed, though one difference is in the time period. The tales I have shown you began with that of the beautiful flaxen-haired family, followed by the tale of the bloodthirsty beast, and then the tale of steel and ambition, proceeding in chronological order. However, the door we have just entered takes us to the period now known as the Middle Ages, long before the other three tales. Yes, that is correct. This is where it all began. The mansion's curse, the truth of the witch, and your identity. All of this should be made known. If, after this tale, you are still unable to reclaim your old self, then there is nothing more I can do. This door contains the last tale I am able to tell you. So I ask of you, please do not let go of my hand until it is all over. Now then, let us begin a beautiful, tragic love story of two solitary souls trapped in a mansion of darkness. In that era, the mansion was a dungeon draped in darkness.
Metal Gear.
Metal Gear!
Hmm. That was my Solid Snake voice. Did you like it?
I loved it. After a great deal of time on the run, the white-haired girl found herself at a remote mansion that stood in a dark, overgrown forest. All the windows were either boarded or shuttered, and it was even darker inside the house than out. Not even a ray of moonlight could enter those walls. Only naturally, the white-haired girl had assumed that nobody lived there. But her guess was incorrect. Someone did, indeed, dwell in the house. It was a young man named Michel. Though she could not make out the details of his face in the candlelight, she thought him a very handsome man. However, he proclaimed to her that a witch resided within the mansion, and that he too was cursed. Everyone who got close to him lost their lives. Do you think that what he told her was all nonsense? A lie devised to chase her out of the house? The truth of the matter shall come to light in time. Despite Michelle's assertions, sorry, that took me a second.
Oh, good. You're doing a lot of reading.
I am. The white-haired girl decided she would take up residence within the mansion. This era's white-haired girl was younger than the others. She was still in her early teens, young enough to be seen as still a child. But she was neither as self-centered nor irresponsible as you might expect of someone her age. She was very delicate and reserved, and acted with a great deal of modesty and restraint. The accusations of her being a criminal and a sinner were grossly inappropriate. Nevertheless, she was still chased from her home, barely managing to flee to this mansion with her life. Now, the white-haired girl thought it would be rude to simply take up space in the mansion, so she chased down the master, Michelle, and asked,
Is there anything I can do to help? I will clean up or cook or do anything. Just let me know. I want to repay you for allowing me to stay here. You need not feel indebted to me. The weight of that obligation will only turn into disdain. But I can't just stay here and do nothing. Do whatever you like, as long as you do not enter my room. That is all I ask of you.
he said emotionlessly, turning away and walking off. Michelle was not, I believe, spurning her. He was merely disinterested. He did not treat her disrespectfully, nor did he seem averse to her presence.
Oh my god, it is Beauty and the Beast round 2.
Let's go! Words simply did not seem to affect him at all. Not only was the mansion a prison for his body was also a prison ensnaring his heart.
I should still do whatever I can.
But she did not let that get her down. In fact, she might have even interpreted his disinterest as kindness. Though he was a bit standoffish, he did not attempt to cause her harm. He was nothing like the people who had accused her of being a witch and forced her to flee for her life. And she was deeply grateful for that.
When a dude doesn't try to kill you, damn.
Damn, that's a good one. Keep that one. Thus began their quiet life together. Michelle, who avoided contact with others, and the white-haired girl, who had taken a great deal of abuse from others. Two people who hardly knew anything about one another, who were too distant to really be said to be living together. Michelle spent most of his day in his chambers, so they only ever saw each other occasionally, and they hardly ever spoke.
Michelle would be a great leading man for a K-drama. Oh my god, you're so right. You are so right.
So correct.
Oh my god. You're sorry. I love K-dramas.
Yes! Though they stayed in the same house, they both lived solitary lives. Nonetheless, the white-haired girl wanted to get to know Michelle better. She wanted to know why he called himself cursed. Why he lived alone in this dark mansion. How many years he had spent here in solitude. And while she waited for the opportunity, she also started doing things around the house.
Hello, Nox. Aw, get
Hello.
comfy. We are in the final door.
We are. The first project she'd set out to take care of was cleaning. As the windows were all firmly shut, her only source of light was candles. For whatever reason, there was a great deal of candles stored in the cellar. She wondered where on earth he had acquired so many, but she never found the opportunity to ask him. It was difficult to even see all the dust and cobwebs with only candlelight, and considering the poor airflow within the house, she was afraid her efforts were going to be in vain. Still she persisted, sweeping and wiping things down, one room at a time. Eventually, she made her way to the library. The dust that had settled there was much heavier than in any other room. With each breath, she had to fight back coughs. It was not a room one would normally be comfortable spending much time in, but the sight of so many bulky volumes lining the shelves sent her heart aflutter with delight.
They're books. Incredible. Real books.
The white-haired girl had never seen a book before. She had heard people describe them, but that was the first time she had ever seen one for herself. Parchment was a very valuable commodity in that era. It was something monks or scholarly priests made use of, and not a material one could easily acquire without some degree of social rank.
Yeah, this is way before the printing press. It'd be a big deal to have this many books.
Books were not printed with machines, but copied by hand. A single volume took an incredible amount of work to create. Even the process of binding was an art. Standing before a shelf, she stared intently at the spines.
There's so much dust. Does he not read any of them? Just a peek. Just a tiny little peek.
She said, making excuses to the empty room as she reached her hand towards one of the books. The tome that caught her eye was on the upper shelf. It bore gorgeous jade embossing and looked like it belonged in a treasure chest.
Almost.
Though she tended to act older than her age, the white-haired girl was still in her early teens and not especially tall. Even standing tiptoe, it was still just barely within reach. At long last, her slender fingers made contact with the spine, and she began to pull the book towards her. The library had sat abandoned for some time, causing the covers to stick together. So when she attempted to pull one out, several books tilted with it. And then, almost all the books on the shelf came avalanching down onto her.
Oh no.
Oh
Ow.
The white-haired girl groaned, buried under a mountain of parchment. Jenga. She hoped she had not damaged any of her host's valuable collection, for the mess was enough of a setback already in her attempt to express her gratitude. Looking around, she saw one volume that was almost torn in half. She did not know whether it was in that condition before, or if it had happened in the fall. But nonetheless, she felt horribly guilty. Sitting there, unable to get back to her feet, tears began welling in her eyes. Then, suddenly, a shadow fell over the dejected girl. It took a book in its hand and returned it to the shelf. For a brief moment, the shadow's hand reached hesitantly towards the white-haired girl, then changed course towards another book. It was Michel. There was a hint of perplexity in his otherwise emotionless eyes. Perhaps he had heard the noise and come to see what had caused it.
I'm so sorry. Your books, What were you doing? I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to make a mess. I didn't mean to damage such precious books. There's no need to panic. I'm sorry. You make it sound as though I'm admonishing you. What? Did you want to read a book? I do, but that's not what I originally came here to clean. Clean? Yes, I felt guilty simply being idle. I did say you could do as you pleased, but you have no responsibility to clean up anything. I just ended up making a bigger mess anyway. I'm sorry. You needn't apologize. Okay. If you want to read, help yourself to any of the books. but I don't know how to read. I just thought the cover was pretty, so I wanted to hold it. You're free to use them however you wish. If looking at them is enough for you, by all means. These are all your books, aren't they? They are. That's incredible! You have so many! It must have taken you a long time to acquire them all. 1 per month. What? My family sends me one every month. Every month?
The white-haired girl turned her gaze back towards the shelves, squinting her eyes and beginning to count. When she finished, she was in awe. There were in excess of 100 books on the shelves, which meant he had lived there in solitude for many years. She was at a loss for words.
They're dull tomes, dreadfully inoffensive, and not even interesting enough to waste a few hours with. Decoration is all they're good for. I see. If you can put them to some use, then perhaps my having them won't be entirely meaningless anymore. I'm going to return to my room. Don't feel obligated to clean up. Just a minute. Was there something else? Could you tell me your name? I just realized I never asked for your name. Not knowing what to call you will make a conversation awkward. You don't need my name to. I want to, though. Michelle. Michelle. Like the Archangel. The name suits you quite well. It suits me? It does. Although it's difficult to see you in the dark, you seem to be a very handsome man, befitting of your name. I beg to differ. Giving me this name is the highest form of mockery. I expect the real Archangel's probably rather annoyed by it. I don't know. I think it's a wonderful name. And you're... No, never mind. Oh, my name. My name is Giselle. Please call me Giselle. Oh, thank goodness. For what? That I was able to get your name and talk to you for a little bit. We haven't seen much of each other since I first arrived, so I'm glad I got to hear your voice. So very glad. You gain nothing by speaking to me. Yes, this is the first time we've seen the white-haired girl's name and it has not been censored.
Yeah!
You have no responsibility to do so, and there is no need for you to feel joy about it. I'm not pleased out of some sense of responsibility or necessity. It's just depressing, not being able to have a conversation with someone living in the same house. You do not understand me at all. Oh, thirsty redeem, let's take a drink.
Thank you!
Thank you! As I said on that first day, my curse will one day kill you. But I'm still alive, aren't I? You are welcome to believe that I am lying, or that I am merely out of my mind. But it will be too late when you realize the truth. I'll be fine, I'm sure. And even if I do die because of your curse, I promise I won't hold a grudge. Could you possibly be keeping away from me out of concern? No, I simply have no interest in interacting with anyone. I would like to interact with you, if you don't mind, that is. As I told you, you have nothing to gain from that. I have nothing, not even words, to give you. My body's but a shell, even if I were not cursed. My presence would do naught but cause you discomfort.
But I want to brush your hair, Michelle. Let me brush your hair!
It's so long and looks so nice.
Right?
I don't think that's true. I don't believe that there's anyone in this world with absolutely nothing. There's plenty inside you. You simply haven't noticed it yet. And not all of it will only cause others pain either. If you truly believe those words, then you are a foolhardy girl. How can you trust someone you only just met? For that matter, how do you not resent everyone? resent them. I can take a guess as to why people call you a witch and why you had to flee all the way to this mansion. Your white hair and red eyes, that abnormal, seemingly inhuman appearance drew their condemnation. And I can think of any number of reasons they might have started treating you less than human. Perhaps people around you experienced misfortune, or perhaps there was a natural disaster, a famine, a plague. Yeah, Michelle could use touching grass, a spa day, and a nap, and some
And a little
sunshine.
Yeah.
That'd be good for him.
Mhm.
Some kind of external phenomenon. And you were their scapegoat. Yes, you are by and large correct. Then that would make me as unworthy of your trust as anyone else. I make no claim to having your interests in mind. Goodbye. If you don't mind, could you teach me how to read sometime? Did you listen to anything I said? I listened, yes. I have no intention of idolizing you. I don't expect you to do anything for me, and I don't wish to burden you in any way. I simply wish to be allowed to be at your side. It does not matter to me what kind of person you may be. That is all I want. I apologize for keeping you. Please consider it if it's not too much trouble.
As the master of the house, Michel made his way to the library. He appeared to be slightly rattled. Perhaps the white-haired girl's determination had ignited something in his chained heart. Or perhaps it was something else. She stared towards the darkness into which Michelle had disappeared. Then she carefully wrapped her arms around the jade-embossed tome, a soft smile spreading across her lips.
He's a decent man. I'm sure of it. We're alike, he and I.
And thus began to blossom within her a faint sense of fellowship, as someone who had also known solitude.
Alright.
You check out the text?
Yeah, once we get to the
Yeah!
next...
Let's go!
We'll check that backlog. Let me check the backlog.
Let me see it.
Let me see the backlog. There it is. Let's scroll up.
Spooky. Oh, okay. Fairly normal. What about her name? Oh,
Let's see.
any more red text anywhere?
No more red text. Just a lot of censored text.
And it does censor her name, I believe.
Oh, yes. Let me see. Oh, there it is. Yep, her name is censored in the backlog.
Whoa!
Very, very interesting.
Riri says, "Hear me out. The white-haired girl has bad taste in men." Yeah.
We've seen that many times now.
Yeah. It had been about a week since the white-haired girl had taken up residence in the mansion. Staying in that house deprived of light was, I imagine, a very claustrophobic experience. Backlog, no spoilers. Yeah. To anyone blessed enough to have sunlight as part of their everyday lives, it would have been unbearable. But for her, the mansion, with its prison walls and lack of either illumination or recreation, was the one place she could find respite. She and Michel continued to be distant, however. He spent most of his time in his chambers, which he had explicitly told the white-haired girl to stay out of, leaving her unable to close that gap. Nonetheless, on the occasions they did cross paths in the hallway, their eyes would meet, if but briefly. It was never for more than a few seconds. Whenever she saw him, she made a point of giving him a little smile. He never said anything, but still, when she had first arrived, he would not have even met her gaze. He seemed to be taking more and more notice of her. One day, the white-haired girl stood in the cellar, a frown on her face.
Well, this is troubling. I can't go down to the village, but if we don't do something soon...
The cellar was where their store was food. Where their food was stored, an assortment of non-perishables and dried foods, smoked meats, and cheeses. Her daily meals were taken from the supplies there. However, the stockpile was beginning to grow quite small. Were she not on the run, she would have gone to the village to procure more. Or perhaps, were she a little tougher, she could have captured a wild animal for its meat. But master, you know a young, delicate thing like her was hardly up to the task of hunting for food.
How does he normally get his supplies, I wonder?
From there, other questions about Michelle started rising up in her mind. No matter how lifeless he seemed, surely he still had to eat, right? The white-haired girl nodded, then made her way out of the cellar, intending to head... Whoop!
Oh,
to head somewhere! For his bedchamber. Ooh!
there we go. Ah,
But on her way there, she spotted him standing by the entrance, staring motionless at the door, lit by a single candlelight. He appeared to be waiting for something.
May I ask you a question? Go on. I was just down the cellar, and I noticed we were running low on food. Do you normally go down to the village to restock? I haven't been outside in 10 years. Then how do you... What if I told you I don't eat? What? That I am not of this world. And as such, I have no need of sustenance. What would you think of that? That sounds very, economical?
I love her. Economical? Yeah.
If you can survive without having to eat, that's one less thing to worry about. If it were possible, I'd like to have that ability too. It would seem trying to frighten you is a waste of time.
Oh my goodness. Michelle.
Was I supposed to be afraid? Doesn't need food, he's a keeper. Get you a man like that. Never mind. It doesn't matter. You asked about the food in the cellar. It's getting to be about that time. Huh? Wait, and you will find out. What do you... It's here. Oh? If you want to know where my supplies come from, open the door. But, I'm in hiding. There's no one at the door anymore. The knock is nothing more than a signal. A signal? The white-haired... Oh, that's you!
It's me!
It's you.
It's me. Hello, Commander Alex.
Commander Alex, hello! How are you? Good to see you!
Yeah! The white-haired girl turned towards Michelle to press him for more information, but he averted his gaze. Find the answer yourself, he seemed to be saying. She took several moments to gather her will, then marched over to the door.
So bright.
The sunlight, which she had not seen in some time, was so bright it seemed to burn her eyes. Although the sun itself had not gotten any brighter, she had simply spent so much time in the darkness her eyes were no longer accustomed to that much light. The color of her eyes made them quite sensitive to light already, so when she stepped outside, her whole world went bone white. The white-haired girl stood motionless for 10, perhaps 15 seconds, and when her eyes had finally adjusted to the light,
What's this?
she noticed the crate on the ground at her feet. She turned her head back to ask Michelle about the box, but the mansion was so dark it appeared to be wholly severed from the outside world. From where she stood, she was unable to distinguish Michelle from the shadows. A pang of nervousness struck her. She wanted to return to that darkness as quickly as possible. The white-haired girl had come to yearn for that world without light more than the one with. The crate was fairly hefty. The slightly built girl had considerable difficulty bringing it into the house. But eventually, she did manage to drag it through the front door. Michelle just didn't want to have to deal with the late adaptation. Yeah. And then, everything went dark once more, except for the faint flicker of candlelight floating in the air.
You can leave it there. Yep, it's my Blue Apron subscription. Contactless delivery. I'll take care of the rest. Let's...
Without a word, Michelle approached her and the box, withdrawing a knife that he had evidently kept hidden somewhere on his person. With it, he cut through the rope that bound the box.
Go on, open it up.
At his insistence, she placed her hand upon the lid. She had no idea what lay inside this unexpected delivery. Whoever had brought it was already long gone. Staring at the strange box, she was racked with nervousness. However, what she found when she pushed aside the lid was completely ordinary food.
Is something amusing? It was just rather anticlimactic. Here I was, worried about what might be inside. We were just talking about the supplies in the cellar. So, we were. It completely slipped my mind. This should last us for some time. It's all preserved just like what's in the cellar. But I don't understand. Who would deliver all of this to you? There should be a book in there as well. What? Oh, there it is. In the library, he said that his family sends him 1 book a month. Does that mean this box came from them? If so, then why did the person who delivered this leave without speaking to him? What happened between him and his family? Is he here because they want him here? Or because he chose to be here? Take the book to the library, please. I will bring the rest of the supplies to the cellar. But it's a big box. I'm sure you could use some help carrying it. That won't be necessary. Take the book and go. But... Fine, then stay here. I'll take care of everything. Oh, wait, hold on, please. I'm glad this is relaxing. Thank you, Nox.
Yeah.
What is it? You don't have to answer this if you don't want to. And, I'm not trying to pry, but I can't help but be curious. Say what you have to say, please. I was wondering if you could tell me why you live here in this mansion. Why did whoever delivered this box leave before you even opened the door? Could you perhaps be imprisoned here? I told you this the very first day. I am cursed. It's only natural for a cursed man to live in a cursed house. Yes, but that's such a vague answer. I don't understand why you're in the situation that you are. I don't know how you feel about it. There's so much I don't know. And I'm not even sure if your curse actually exists. I see. That is a perfectly reasonable doubt from your point of view. Having been branded a witch because of your appearance. It would make sense that you would think my curse might be fabricated, or perhaps a metaphor for something else. Alright then, come with me. What? I'll show you my curse.
As he turned on his heels, the white-haired girl caught a glimpse of what appeared to be a smirk on his face, like the whole thing was some kind of sick joke. That smile carved into his mask. was far colder than any look of annoyance or rejection. But despite the twinge of nervousness, she still followed after Michel. As much as he might have stood out in a crowd with such height and long hair, his presence was almost entirely eroded away by the darkness. She felt that he could simply fade away into nothingness at any moment.
Let's maybe take a quick look at that backlog.
Yeah!
See if anything...
I'll show you my beep 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 beep.
Whoa! Whoa!
Whoa!
Whoa!
Who put that there?
Whoa! Anything new?
And red
Anything
text?
new?
Where my red text at, huh?
Where my red text at? No new red text. Alright,
Alright.
let's keep going. Many things are buried here. Huh? Mice, insects, wild cats, and dogs. Have you ever thought it strange how little life there seemed to be around this mansion? You're right. I haven't seen a single creature since I arrived. Wait a second. Wait a second.
What?
We have...
What? What's happening?
I can make there be creatures.
Creatures!
There they are!
Take these. Take them. Me too.
The only sound you can hear is the wind blowing. Now that you mention it, it did seem peculiar. Oh, you made so many!
So many! We need all of them.
They were all... Oh my gosh! Thank you so much for the subscription.
Creature,
oh,
Aqua
Essie.
C2 creature, Aqua
Thank
C2
you,
creature,
Essie.
Aqua C2
Hi,
creature,
Essie.
Aqua C2 creature, 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 Aqua C2 creature.
Thank you for the resubscription, Essie! And for all the creatures! Oh, and Carrot's bringing in some little buddies too. Thank
Yeah,
you.
let's go.
We're having a party here. Michelle's
Nice.
talking about how he killed all the creatures. Or rather, they lost their lives because of me. You have your answer now.
What do you mean? What do you mean? That's not an answer.
Keep
Another
reading,
mystery.
Freyja!
Ah. A butterfly fluttered its way into the ruined garden, dancing up and down through the air. Michel held out a finger before himself, and the butterfly, mistaking it for a branch, drifted down upon it to rest its wings. Had the scene stopped there, it would have made a picturesque moment.
All that comes in contact with me loses its life. My skin, the breath I exhale, my flesh and blood, is poison to all life.
But the butterfly's movements began to slow. It spread its wings in one fast, futile attempt to fight gravity. And then, without warning, it shriveled up into a dry husk.
It's dead. All dried up and lifeless. Like it's been dead for days. It's like his finger drained all the life out of it. Is this his curse? Is that even possible? But I saw it with my own eyes. If this is his curse, though, it explains much. There are more than just insect and animal corpses buried here, too. Servants who came to visit me long ago are here beneath the ground, under our very feet. That's why the servant leaves before I open the door. Should he touch me, should he get near me, his very life is in danger.
Oh no!
Oh no! No one is interested enough in seeing me to take that risk. No one will have anything to do with me. Nary a soul even wishes to see my face. Now you understand what I meant when I said I would eventually kill you. So that's why you have never once touched me. When I knocked the books down in the library, you didn't offer your hand to help me up, and only one of us ever made contact with the box at the entrance at a time. When I offered to help you carry it, you refused, because you didn't want your finger to accidentally brush against mine. My actions were not out of concern for you. I simply dislike people.
Okay, Michelle. Okay. Okay, fine.
Okay, we see how it is, okay.
Yeah, tsundere.
Others' interests mean nothing to me. What an odd face you're making. Do you not believe my curse is real? No, I do. It is certainly irrational, inexplicable, unbelievable. But you've shown me more than enough evidence, and I don't believe you're lying to me right now either. In which case, you now understand how dangerous it is to be near me. You said that if you left, you would be killed. But it's been some time since then. If you're careful to cover your tracks, you could make your escape. You do not belong here. He was telling the truth about being cursed. What a cruel burden to have to bear. I can't imagine just how much he's given up on, how many lives he's inadvertently taken, and how he must have felt every time it happened. How much pain that loneliness must have given him. How much despair he must carry in his heart. How much sorrow must be weighing down upon him. So, no, I will not leave. I will stay here with you. Leave this place. No, I will not. Why? Why do you insist upon remaining in this house after learning what I can do? You have no reason to stay. Tell me then, why do you try to drive me out? If you don't care for others, as you say, if you're not concerned about anyone else, then what does it matter what I do?
Yeah, call him out. Call him
What
out.
does it
Go.
matter if I die to your curse? You're a very kind-hearted man. You've been watching out for me since the day I arrived, doing whatever you can to not inadvertently kill me, to not afflict me with your curse. No. Here's what I think. No one capable of showing genuine care for others can honestly, truly dislike all people. They can't possibly be indifferent. No, That day we met before the stained glass window, you heard me out. You listened to my plight. You didn't try to chase me out. That day, I thought you to be a good person. And I still believe that. I simply assumed you would leave on your own when it was safe. I never thought you would be so foolish as to want to stay in a house like this with a man like me. How does that make me foolish? Do you not value your life? Are you not afraid of death? Do you not find me unpleasant? The thing I fear most is loneliness. You're probably right that by now I could safely sneak away, get myself somewhere far from here. But even if I did, I would inevitably find myself in the same situation. The only way I can avoid that fate is to stay away from everyone, to live in solitude with no one to talk to. I know you understand how that feels. It terrifies me. I'm afraid of having to spend day after day with no one to talk to, no one to share my experiences, my thoughts, my feelings with. If that's what awaits me out there, then I want to live with you. I want you to be an essential part of my life. Impossible. Please, don't chase me out. You are a cruel girl. Oh, thirsty redeem. Alright, I will take a sip of my water.
Thank you. He's just tired of having to bury the bodies. Yeah, that too. This was released back in 2012 before Saw Terrible Souls.
No, they knew. How did they know?
Oh no!
Never again will I allow myself to get close to someone, only to watch them die. Never again. My mother was the first to die. It happened shortly after my birth.
Oh.
Next was my wet nurse. 2 deaths could be considered a coincidence, but as the number rose, it became clear that I was cursed. And I was forbidden from making contact with anyone, even at home. Regardless, being in the same house, accidents will happen. Numerous people lost their lives. Attendants unfamiliar with me, or those who simply brushed up against me by mistake. I couldn't take it any longer. So you chose to move here, to this remote mansion, to keep yourself away from your family. You weren't imprisoned here. You elected to live alone so you wouldn't hurt anyone. For better or for worse, I was born into a noble house. So rather than abandon me, they provided me the means to live out of sight. I will be very careful. I will do everything I can to ensure no accidents occur, to keep you from being alone again. I will not for any reason touch you. You have my promise. Your curse takes the life of anything you touch. I've been here for a while and a death has not befallen me yet. As long as I do not touch you, there shouldn't be a problem. Also, and, I apologize if this is simply me reading too much into things, but I feel like we're 2 of a kind. I fear being utterly alone more than anything, and I think you understand just how scary that is. So, why are you so stubbornly insistent on it being me? I'm sure there's someone else out there. Someone you're meant to be with. You may not have found them yet, but I believe someone like you eventually will. Because unlike me, you still have the vigor to press forward. It has to be you. I'm certain of it.
The situation is literally perfect, bro.
Why? Because, You can't tell me? No, I can just, Please, don't get upset with me. I think I might really, really love you.
What?
Whoa!
Whoa! What?
Whoa!
What?
Whoa!
I did not see that coming.
Wow!
I mean, he is pretty charming, I understand.
He's very pretty.
He is. Backlog. Let's go.
I'm waiting for it to let me see.
Let's go.
Alright. Still lots of censored text.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
No red text.
No
though.
red text, but there is something interesting here, I believe. Let me double check. Ah, no, I think I'm not here.
Maybe somewhere
Not
else.
here.
Oh. His was a power that evoked images of witches or demons, the unclean and the impure. A mere touch was all it took for him to strip man and beast alike of its life. God has quite a cruel streak to bestow such a power upon such a beautiful young man. And a strange power it was indeed, like something out of a fairy tale. Like something confined to words upon the page, it seemed otherworldly, unbelievable. Nonetheless, as he had demonstrated to the white-haired girl, his peculiar powers were indeed real. That said, the world had its fair share of oddities. It just so happens that those curiosities tend to remain hidden away, known only to a few. Although you have laid eyes upon a number of unusual phenomena yourself, Master. The doors to the past through which we have passed. This very mansion. And as a matter of fact, two of us. Now, as you just saw, the white-haired girl found herself enraptured with this man and his accursed power. How do you think Michelle acted in response to her proclamation? He had spent so long refusing to interact with others. No, unable to interact with them. As such, he was unsure how to respond. After standing there expressionless for a few moments, he muttered,
I'll consider it.
"Aww." And with that, he returned to his chambers. While he was not someone who wore his heart on his sleeve, I personally do not believe he was completely devoid of emotions. He had simply forgotten how to express them in his extended solitude. So I think he was, in that moment, in a state of complete panic. She had, after all, just assaulted him with a stream of incomprehensible declarations. That, knowing the truth, she still wished to remain in the mansion. And that, knowing the truth, she loved him. The love she had declared for Michelle was not a fleeting puppy love. There was genuine tenderness and warmth to her words. But he had gone through his life shunned, feared, pushed away. To him, that was normal. He had never given anyone reason to have any fondness for him. So he found himself utterly unsure how to take the affection she was showing. Of course, he was not the only one rattled by the whole affair.
Oh dear.
Several days had passed since Michelle had asked for time to think. He had still yet to show himself again.
This is all my fault.
The white-haired girl paced anxiously through the halls on the off chance she might run into him. As per his request, though, she kept her distance from his chambers. Nevertheless, she was beginning to worry about the fact that he had secluded himself away for so long. So she worked up her courage and made her way to his bedroom.
What if he doesn't want to see me ever again? I didn't consider I might be overstepping my bounds before opening my mouth.
Every step she took was slow and laborious. Her mind raced with worry and doubt.
I should at least tell him I'm sorry.
Rather than out of a desire to know how he felt, she was compelled by guilt and a desire to apologize. After walking for some time, she arrived at a door sitting in an utterly unlit hallway. She drew in a breath of musty air, then let it out, repeating the process several times. Next, she reached her hand up to knock on the door, then pulled it back, also doing this a number of times. Oh, how adorable she was. I wanted nothing more than to give her a little nudge. After all, she was too sweet a girl for her worries to be anything but misplaced.
I just can't find the courage. Maybe I should come back another day. But what's the point of waiting? I need to apologize and get the weight off his back now.
She gathered her courage once more, this time determined she would do it. The white-haired girl moved her small fist towards the door, which then swung open.
I'm sorry. Please, you must announce your presence.
I was trying.
I almost walked right into you. Are you in that much of a hurry for a mishap? I'm sorry. And I believe I told you to stay away from my chambers. You did, so I spent a long time debating whether I would. But I finally decided I really wanted to tell you this. Oh, well, actually, I am truly sorry. What? The other day I could barely manage to get the words in my head all the way to my mouth. There was no room in my mind for anything else. I shoved my own thoughts and feelings into your face. Not considering that might not be what you wanted, just running nonstop, not thinking at all. I was terribly disrespectful to you, completely selfish. You're a kind-hearted man, I truly believe that. But you were only being courteous because you're a nice man. I'm sure you have little interest in the affections of a queer little girl. So, I would love it if I could stay here. It would be a wonderful blessing. But if you really don't want me here, if my feelings are imposing upon you, then I apologize. I'm sorry, and I'll take my leave of this house. I'm sorry. Don't be. My mind went blank for a moment. What? I find it difficult to comprehend you. The other day you were firm in your intentions to stay, and now you say you'll leave without a struggle. You holed up in your room for so long that I thought, you didn't want me around. To be honest, I want to stay here, I do. I think you should do whatever pleases you. Huh? You can stay, or you can leave. I will not pressure you to do one or the other. So, I'm not imposing? To tell you the truth, I had to think about that for some time. However, I've now come to something of a solution. Since you're here, come into my room. What? But I thought I wasn't allowed to. To prevent what almost happened a few moments ago, so we don't accidentally run into each other. Sorry. You're forgiven. Now come in. Okay. Is this a necklace? If that's what it looks like to you, then I suppose that means I succeeded. Pick it up. It has a little bell. It's adorable. Please make an effort to wear that while you're in the house. Because it's so dark, there will always exist the risk that we might accidentally bump into one another. So I tried to come up with a way to reduce that risk. Does that mean you didn't leave your room because you were working on this? That's right. What other reason would I have? I think most people would assume it was because they had put you in a bad mood, or that you didn't want to see them. Yeah, it's like a cat. It's just like Tokyo Mew Mew.
You're right! Oh no, you're right!
It's just like Tokyo Mew Mew. I have little sense of how most people see the world. Sorry. I appreciate it though. I'm really glad to know that you put so much thought into a life together with me. It would be difficult not to, after the other day. I'm so happy right now. I can't think of any better word to describe it. I couldn't be happier. You're being traumatic. To tell you the truth, I feel a little bad about it. Why? It seems rather impertinent to affix a bell to someone. You're not livestock, you're a person.
You're not a cat, you're a person.
That's why you turned it into a necklace? Thank you very much. I'll keep it on me at all times. I really, truly appreciate it, Lord Michelle. Don't call me Lord, please. Alright then, I'll just call you Michelle. And will you please call me Giselle? The windows. What? If we could open up the windows. Never mind. I was just thinking you wouldn't need the bell at all if we could get some light in here. They can't be opened? They're rusted shut. All the windows have been shuttered for as long as I've been here. I assumed you had boarded them all up. That was done long before I ever arrived. After so many years here, though, I hardly consider it an inconvenience anymore. Sorry, were you trying to say something, Freyja?
Very, very interesting.
It also serves to repel wanderers. Oh, really? Is there something odd about that? No. It's just, I realized I had the wrong impression about a number of things. As I learn more, I see things in a different light. See you in a different light. And I'm sure there's still plenty more for me to learn. Of all the people I have ever met, you are perhaps the most difficult to predict. Not only do you have no aversion to the darkness, The dark has always been a close friend of mine. Which isn't to say I dislike the sun. Its light can simply be a bit too strong for me. I'm like some kind of unholy monster that can't be exposed to sunlight. You are anything but unholy. My name would suit you much better than me.
Aww.
Aww.
Log.
These angsty teens.
Yeah. Whoa.
Ah.
Who's that? Who's that?
Oh boy. You guys like those sound effects? Let's see. Alright.
I don't like that sound at all.
We're just... What? I think it's fine. It's fine. Here we go, we have...
Lots of sculptures. Oh no.
Images are slithering into my head, replacing memories before they can surface. Stop.
Ah, spooky!
What a beautiful story. Much better than the real thing, is it not, my dear? That day, when I first saw Giselle, I was wary of her, apprehensive. Now that text is not shown during the regular dialogue, you only see it if you check the backlog.
Spooky!
I didn't want her anywhere near me. But, as my doubts about her faded, I began feeling something very different, as though the lump in my heart had been melted away. I began to yearn for her to be at my side, knowing full well it couldn't possibly last, knowing full well how foolish it was. I found myself captivated by her. I found myself wishing to have her stay with me. It's a neat little way to hide things.
Yeah! We gotta check the log again.
Yeah, let's check the log one more
I
time.
don't remember if anything new shows up or not, but we still gotta check.
We should make sure, because that was very interesting.
Very spooky. Very spooky.
Okay.
Oh no, that was
Nope,
it.
nothing different. Nothing new there.
Do you feel like this is a good place to end it?
It is getting close to that time, isn't it? We probably should end it.
Yeah.
Especially while we have this little break point.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first time you find it, because if you don't know that it's there, it is very scary.
It is. It scared me the first time I saw it. Unexpected. Aqua didn't tell me anything, and I just clicked it accidentally once, and I was like, "Oh no, what was that?"
I've had a lot of people who have convinced to play this game, like, tell me, like, hey, is the backlog supposed to be like this? I accidentally skipped a line and went to check, and then it was all messed up.
Yeah, I thought that too.
I was like, yep, only this chapter does it so far.
Yeah.
How interesting.
Very interesting.
Oh boy. What a time, though.
Right? Whoa.
We got through quite a bit there.
We did.
We really did. Oh, I'm excited to keep going.
Right, me too. I don't remember how long this story is, but that's okay. We will get there when we get there.
Yes. Next stream will be a fun time, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Aw, thank you, Carrot.
Thank you, Carrot.
And it is a big cliffhanger, but that's fine. We can all wonder and think about what's going on until next week.
Hell
We
yeah.
can see if anybody comes back with any fun theories or anything.
Right. Oh, there's a lot interesting happening.
Oh,
Lot
there
of
really is. There's a whole lot happening.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Any theories thus far?
Yeah, any of
okay
the
if
new
you don't have
people
any. Yeah.
have any ideas?
or any general questions, that's okay
Mhm.
too.
Yeah, questions are good too. As long as it's something that we can answer, we will.
This is, from this point forward, definitely one of my favorite chapters of the game.
It's very interesting.
Yeah. Man, you're just gonna wait for the next stream? Yeah, good idea.
Fair
good idea.
enough. Yeah, we do this
mhm.
every Saturday at the same time.
Yeah.
Alright. Man, I need to follow more VTubers who are doing stuff at this time of night.
I know, it's hard.
Let's see. Who can we raid? Ooh, somebody's playing the Somnium Files. That's a good
Ooh.
one. That's another very fun mystery VN, so that could be a great raid to do.
Yeah, I'd be down.
Alright. I don't... Do you think we should stream Requiem for Innocence after this, Freyja?
I would love to, because I haven't actually finished it, I don't think.
Oh, we should do it then. That would be fun.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. We will plan for that after, because I'd also be down as long as you are.
Right? We should also do that other,
Oh,
the
yes.
AU.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, we can go through the whole series. That'd be super fun. I'd love to do that.
Yeah, that would be super fun. We should do it. We should do it.
Yes. Okay. So we'll get through this one. We'll have a whole Fata Morgana series. That'll be really fun. I'm really excited about that.
Me too. I want to see the new stuff.
I hope everybody who's new to the story has been enjoying it thus far. I've been having so much fun going back through it. It's been a bit since I've read it.
Right? Yeah, me too. I'm feeling the same way. It's so exciting every time.
I know. I'm like noticing so many new things or appreciating so many new parts, picking up on so much little bits of foreshadowing.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I feel the same way. It's so good.
Yes, thank you for coming, Carrot. It was so fun to have you here.
Yeah, thank you, Carrot. It was nice seeing you here. I hope
All right.
everybody enjoys the rest of their night.
How about for a raid message? Let's do... we didn't have any real memes this time again.
No.
Yes, this game is very good. It's definitely worth checking out if it's caught your interest. It's probably... It's my favorite VN, honestly. I love visual novels so much. So
Me
it says
too,
a lot that this is my favorite.
Like, this game, how long ago was it that you made me play this game? I
It
feel
was
like
a
it was like
good few-
2018 at least.
Oh my gosh, that's like 5 years ago now? No, that's...
Four?
Four.
Can't count either. 4 to
Almost
5,
though.
somewhere in
Oh
there.
my
Yeah,
gosh,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
been a bit!
Yeah,
Whoa.
and like, it's still, like, this visual novel has impacted me so much. I think about it all the time.
Oh, same,
I've
like,
been thinking about it for the past like 4 or 5 years. It's so good.
same.
The messages are really, really good. The way that it's written is really, really, really good. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it was released 2012. I didn't find it until, like... It was shortly before I made Freyja play it.
Oh,
Maybe
right,
like
'cause
a
it was,
year or so before.
Yeah, because it was translated into English. And like, I don't know.
I want to say like 2015 or 16? I
That
have to
would
double
make sense.
check. But yeah, it's a few years ago now, but like it still has a pretty like dedicated fandom because it's so good at sticking in your mind, and I'm so excited to see what everyone thinks as the story keeps going, you know?
Right? Yeah.
See what everyone thinks of the rest of this chapter.
If you haven't watched the other episodes and you want to, they are all posted to Aqua's YouTube channel.
Yes, that should be linked to my Twitch.
Yeah.
If not, I also have a card that links all my social media. I can... If you give me a minute, I can also drop that card in the chat.
Let's.
That might be a good...
Whenever I'm bored, sometimes I'll go back and listen to it. Because it's nice. Since this is a visual novel, the biggest thing for me is that I couldn't play it unless Aqua was there. Because it's so much to read that I couldn't sit through it on my own. But definitely sitting here and be able to like read through it, now I can go back and listen to it and be like, oh yeah, this is pretty good.
This is a really fun way to re-experience it.
Yeah, and then that way you can kind of listen on the side, like as if it's like a podcast kind of thing. It's good.
Alright, though. I think we should get that raid started. I think I've picked
so.
out a raid message. We'll just do a basic one. Do a little seashell
Alright.
raid.
Let's go.
Alright. So thank you everyone for coming. I appreciate you all being here so much. And I hope you have a great rest of your night, and I'll see you guys later.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye!